In a few minutes, we're going to be chanting Shir HaShirim, Song of Songs, one of five Megillas, five Megillot in the Tanakh, in the Bible. We're most familiar, I think, when we say the Megillah, we automatically think of Purim. But, of course, Megillat Esther is actually, the Megillah of Esther is one of five. Also, Megillat Eicha, the Book of Lamentations, read on Tisha B'Av, and then the three pilgrimage festivals each have their own Megillah ascribed to the festival. On Sukkot, we chant Kohelet, Ecclesiastes. On Shavuot, the Book of Ruth, Megillat Ruth. And today, this morning, for Pesach, we will chant Song of Songs, Shir HaShirim. And I want to take a few minutes to think about this Song of Songs. What is it? Why is it read on Passover? And even before, why is it read on Passover? Why is it even included in the Tanakh? Why is it included in the Bible? And in fact, while all of the Megillot are included in the liturgy throughout the year, as I just mentioned, there is a debate recorded in the Mishnah and the Talmud about whether this book, this Megillah, this scroll should even be included in the Tanakh. And some rabbis saying, no, it doesn't belong here. After all, it's love poetry. When we read it, we'll see it describes the love between a man and a woman. And yet it has one very prominent defender, Rabbi Akiva. And I'll read what Rabbi Akiva says, recorded in Mishnah Yadayim, chapter 3, Mishnah 5. Rabbi Akiva says, pages. Rabbi Akiva, just a second, I have too many pages here. But Rabbi Akiva says that if the rest of the Torah, the rest of Tanakh is holy, then Shir HaShirim is the holy of holies. Ascribes even greater power to Shir HaShirim than even the rest of the Tanakh combined. All the ages are not more precious than the day Israel received the Song of Songs. All the scriptures are holy, but the Song of Songs is the holy of holies. He views, as the Talmud shares, that this love story between a man and a woman is not simply a love story between two people, but should be read allegorically, metaphorically, as the love between God and Israel. As such, the separation between God and Israel comes to be understood as Israel being in exile. Therefore, the final verse, as we read in Shir HaShirim in just a few minutes, is Israel entreating God to return as swiftly as possible so that their relationship can be reunited. This story of coming together is so powerful that it is read in the Sephardic tradition every Friday night. In fact, we see that in our own Siddur. If you turn to page 7, we have recorded the first two prekim, the first two chapters of Shir HaShirim at the beginning of Kabbalat Shabbat. In a Sephardi Mizrahi community, you'll hear this read every Friday night. And we have a few notes here in our Siddur that Rashi actually wrote an introduction, the only introduction to any book in the Bible that Rashi wrote was to Shir HaShirim, explaining this allegory. So we hear from Rabbi Akiva, and this decision kept, of course, the book Shir HaShirim made it into the Bible, but why on Pesach? And I turn, if anyone wants to share, why read this book, this Megillah on Pesach? Any thoughts? I'll share a few. On its surface, it may not seem to have anything to do with Pesach. In fact, as you read it, taking it on its face value, it might be hard to find a connection. So I want to share three that we can think about as we chant in just a few moments. The first is that much of the imagery relates to spring, relates to Aviv. Of course, this is Chag HaAviv, the holiday of spring, a time of rebirth, of renewal, and we see that imagery throughout Shir HaShirim, blossoming, imagery of spring. The Zohar, in fact, the great Kabbalistic work, describes all of Shir HaShirim, in fact, as being an allegory and being a song about the Jewish people, a song encompassing the entirety of Torah. The Zohar says that this embodies the Torah. The talk of separation between two lovers really is the exile, is the time that the people are in Egypt, the time that our ancestors are in Egypt, and the story brings us together, recounting in its own way the return from exile and our redemption. I want to turn to one particular verse that the Talmud records and that our tradition records as being the connection or signifying the connection between Shir HaShirim and Pesach. And we can turn to chapter 2, verse 14. It's at the bottom here of the inside the second page here, the very bottom. Yonati b'chagvei hasela b'siter hamadrega harini et mar'ayich hishmi'ani et kolech ki kolech arev umar'ech naveh. In English, oh my dove, in the cranny of the rocks, hidden by the cliff, let me see your face. Let me hear your voice, for your voice is sweet and your face is comely. Rabbi Yochanan here in Shir HaShirim Rabbah in the Midrash says that God will say, I call all of Israel a dove. This Yonah, this dove that is being referred to here according to the Midrash, refers to all of Israel. In the Targum, this is a tradition of interpretation on this verse. And when Pharaoh pursued the people of Israel, the assembly of Israel was compared to a dove trapped in the clefts of a rock, a snake threatening it from within and a hawk threatening it from without. In the same way here, this verse is described, the assembly of Israel was trapped in all four directions. In front of them was the sea, behind them the enemy pursued, and on either side were wilderness full of fiery serpents, which wound and kill people with their sting. Then immediately the assembly opened her mouth in prayer before God, and an echo came from the heaven above, and this is what it said. You, O assembly of Israel, who resemble a dove, pure and hiding in the hiding place of the clefts of the rocks or in the hidden places of the stairs, show me your face and your worthy deeds, and let me hear your voice. For your voice is sweet when it prays in the small temple, and your face is beautiful when you perform good deeds. And so our tradition transforms this verse, which on its surface is describing a fair maiden, a woman as a dove, to be the people Israel, stuck here in this place with the sea in front of them, with the chasing Egyptian army behind them, stuck and praying out to God. And it is in that moment, that they sing out to God. And as we celebrate the anniversary, some 3,300 years this very day since the crossing of the Red Sea, may it be for us, both individually and as a community, may we be guided safe passage through our myriad challenges. The word Mitzrayim is an unusual country name. You may recognize the ayim ending from other Hebrew words, einayim or oznaim. Im is a plural ending in Hebrew. Mitzrim, the Egyptians. Anashim, people. Sidurim, prayer books. But ayim, our tradition, dating back to biblical times, ayim really is dual, is two. Einayim, two eyes. Oznaim, two ears. Mitzrayim, Meitzar is a strait, a narrow strait. Mitzrayim is the two narrow straits. Of course, in biblical times, there were two Egypts, a lower Egypt and an upper Egypt. And this was our narrow straits, our challenge. We said earlier today in Hallel, Min ha-Meitzar karatiyah, from this narrow strait, this Meitzar, I call out to you, God. And may we be guided, safe passage, as we have so many challenges today. May we be guided through our Meitzarim, our own Mitzrayim, to better days ahead. Chag Sameach.